All right, we are back in action on the old school Celica. The large moose is back as well, and we are going to finish gutting the interior, and by gutting I just mean removing a few interior trim pieces, and then we're going to pull the suspension so that we can send some of those bits and pieces to our friends at Fortune Auto, because they're going to make us some custom top hats, and we might even custom valve the dampers and do some other cool stuff. So let's get to it. So that is what a giant moose ass looks like crawling into a tiny Celica, or Celica, as our American friends have generously pointed out in the YouTube comments of every video on this car so far. Thank you, America. And, you know, in the spirit of love, we have nicknamed the car Connie Celica. And for you guys that are too young to know who Connie Celica is, you need to Google her. She was like a 70s and 80s hottie, kind of like this car. So yeah, I think we're going with Connie on this one. And this is probably the closest that Moose has ever gotten to being inside of Connie Celica. So there is that about it too. As you can see, all we've really got left inside is the rear side trim and roof liner and that rear board piece I guess we could pull out if we're going to make a carbon block off plate for that. The top, what's that called, a shelf back there we could probably pull out. We may pull the dash too. We want to take measurements of the gauges for Autometer. So we're going to make some custom Speed Academy gauges. That should be pretty sick. So yeah, once we're done in there, we'll move on to suspension. So Moose brought his special trim tool today, which is making everything easier. You want to show us how that works?
Sure. I mean, most handles these days are held on by a circlip, which basically secures this to the shaft. And trying to pull that off, trying to remove that with a pick or sharp is very difficult. Basically, the tool literally slips in behind and pushes the clip right out. So it takes all 2 seconds to remove the clip, holding on the handle, for the sake of $5.
Huh. Yeah, I saw my neighbor trying to do that on his 260Z, and he was using like a flathead screwdriver and...
Cursing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and lots of damaged trim and whatnot.
Exactly. There you go. Pro tip number 1 from the Moose.
Trim tools work.
We had a choice here. Moose was either going to tear the trim out or actually use a screwdriver to remove the screw that was holding it on. And to his credit, he went with the screwdriver.
I'm not frustrated yet.
Which is not what he would have done 10 years ago, but he's mellowed with age.
No, that's not true. I had less patience then.
Yes.
So I would try for a bit, and then I'd get annoyed.
Yes.
And then carnage would occur.
Yes. Well, that explains the nickname to a certain extent.
Yes.
Although I believe it emerged because we described you as a large horny man or a large horny beast?
Pretty much. Pretty much. That's kind of where it goes. What else? What else do you call a man of my size and my stature?
So we did a bit of cleanup in the trunk, and we found these little nice trim pieces. I was bummed that we were missing that Celica side piece, but there's one, so I'll have to find another for the other side. And the GT part goes in the front grille, which is kind of cool. And then there's like a, I don't know if that's the horn button or center cap. It's not off the wheel, so I think that's got to be the horn button.
Must be, yeah. I don't think it makes sense.
It's got that funky Celica dragon emblem, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, fun to have those. But why I'm showing you this is because we're about to move the sunroof. She's coming out. Got to pull it to get out the headliner, and I don't want a sunroof anyway, so we're going to plug that hole up. Another thing Moose is really good at doing. Other fun games include removing aftermarket sunroofs from Toyota Celica GTs.
Yeah.
At least I think that's an aftermarket sunroof. Do you agree, or do you think it's factory?
I honestly don't know. It doesn't look factory to me. It looks like one of the aftermarket ones.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's aftermarket, but anyway, this being a sort of pseudo semi-race car build, sunroofs not required. So, and I personally just don't like sunroofs. I get sun headaches, and I've got no hair, so I don't want to burn the top of my head. So yeah, gonna block that off.
And quite honestly, the size of your melon does not really allow for sunroof anyway.
It's true. I need all the headroom I can get, both for my melon and for my ego. So it's, yeah, the sunroof's got to go. So Moose was removing the rear view mirror here, and it kind of came apart in his hands. If you turn it around, Moose, you can show them the plastic backing on it. It was so dried out that when he put a bit of pressure on it with his fingers, it just fell to pieces. So apparently I'm ordering a new rear view mirror, which is kind of a shame because I like that elegant swan's neck that it's mounted on. It's a
Kind of like your elegant swan's
it
neck.
is. Yes, it's exactly like my elegant swan's neck. I appreciate that.
That goes with your delicate personality.
So yeah, even though stuff looks good in here, it's actually a lot of dried out desert rot happening, but
I'll take that over rusted. Either.
yeah, exactly. All right, how goes the progress, Moose?
It's going. Everything's kind of brittle and heat-worn, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's coming apart.
All right, parcel shelf coming out.
Yeah. So now we're getting there. Another couple minutes. This will I'll be able to drop into the headliner and we can move on.
Move on to suspension. All right, so a cool little piece of automotive archaeology going on here. Moose has discovered this vent up at the top of the, what is this, the C pillar, I guess you call it?
B pillar,
Bill pillar, I guess, yeah. Because there's no
B.
no B on the door, so yeah, it's this weird little vent that actually looks like it connects to the outer trim piece to bring fresh air to the back seat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how it has some sort of actuator flap.
Yeah.
Maybe it vents when it gets too hot, or I don't know, but it's pretty wild. You can see the ducting goes right down.
Yeah,
and
inside
out,
of the B pillar.
outside the side piece.
And I'll show you the vent on the outside here in a sec. So yeah, this is the outside trim piece at the back of the rear side windows, I should say. And as you can see, it has like this grill-like finish to it. And
this is
the top
open
two
right
are
here.
faux. There's no actual slots, but the bottom two has actual slots in it that feed that duct inside the pillar. The weird part is, how do you close that? Because it doesn't appear to have any kind of like mechanical linkage to the HVAC system or anything.
It's just a
have
spring-loaded flap.
Yeah, just a weird spring-loaded flap. So how would that work in the winter?
I don't know, unless it's speed derived and it helps exhaust, or if it's heat derived and it vents. Who knows?
Weird, eh?
Some old school Toyota engineers watching this, they maybe would tell us.
Yeah, someone on the internet will tell us, I'm sure, but that was unexpected. I thought this trim piece here on the outside was just cosmetic, but there's actually a functional grill.
Kind of like Dave.
Unexpectedly functional? I don't know. More like dysfunctional.
As a homage to the boys over at Roadkill, these things are mint.
Look at those. That is one nasty speaker. Yeah, that's not going to make any noise left.
Well, it'll make noise.
Just a meh. Shake the guts out, that's right. That is officially scrap. Moose, the car looks like it's the right size for you now that you're sitting in the back seat.
Awesome.
That's like a DTM seating position in the back there.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So it's time for the skanky old headliner to come down?
It is, and since it's not being kept, I can now revert to my natural tendencies.
That's right.
I don't have to be careful. I don't have to be neat.
That's
This is
right.
going to be
This is
fun!
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, that's gold. So look at this skanky old headliner. It looks like my grandma's underwear. That thing is used up. By the way, sorry, Grandma. You're dead now, but I'm sure you'd still be unhappy with me saying this looks like your underwear, because you were a very clean woman. This looks nothing like my grandma's underwear. I take it back. I'm going to burn in hell for that. Nevertheless, it is skanky as hell. So let's just call it like a hooker's underwear drawer. Is that better? I think so. Alright, just tearing off the steering column cover here, which is just a plastic piece which doesn't appear to be as rotten as some of the others, because it's probably better protected from the sun there, but it looks like it's going to come out. Maybe in one piece, maybe not.
Depends what irritated I get.
That's right. If you need to rip it out, Moose, I give you permission. Okay, well, that's what happens when you give Moose permission to rip shit out of your car.
You don't have to ask me twice, my friend.
Apparently that should say Hazard Moose is working on the car. Sorry, little plastic piece. He manhandled you, but you've actually survived pretty much intact, so well done. That's Japanese build quality for you. Well, we've given up on pulling the column because it looks like it's going to take a lot of work on the engine bay side, so we're just going to see if we can pull the dash trim without messing with the column today. Not exactly sure how we're going to make the column. There is a way to retrofit the existing column to a rack and pinion like I have on the A86 cross member, but I also have that AW11 steering column that we might use instead, but I'm not sure what we're going to do there, so we're just going to see if we can pull this dash trim to get at the gauges so we can send some measurements to Autometer, and if we have time before my family gets home, we'll move on to the suspension, but the clock is ticking. The tension is building as the screws come out, and the potential of Moose breaking this precious dash piece becomes closer and closer.
Have faith, my friend, have faith.
I guess so. Please don't break it. I'm begging you, don't break it.
I just slid in the screw.
Oh, you found the screw, alright.
Maybe I should read the manual.
Gentle, yeah, the manual, we do have one. Why don't we look at the manual?
Let's do that.
That would make me feel
Let's take
better.
a commercial break.
Commercial break.
While we look at the manual.
Let's do that. Moose, we have the manual, but I'm hearing noises up there. What's going on? What is going on? You're freaking me out, man. You're freaking me out.
Well, I knew there had to be hidden clips. And it's just a matter of where they were.
So, it came out, and the level of carnage is what?
Minimal, actually. There's only a little bit of...
From 0 to Moose, what would you
Actually, I just figured out how it comes apart.
Oh.
This comes out. It's not obvious this comes out. Hidden behind this was 2 screws.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, those 2 screws have lost their life in the battle against me.
What is that piece? Is that like the
That's the
HVAC
HVAC slider controller thing.
I see that as I've been taking a bit of a beating.
Yes.
Okay.
But the actual...
The main trim piece has survived?
Yes, it has, actually. Other than a little, bit of damage here, where it was the hidden screws that were hidden behind this panel.
Yeah.
There and there, the only ones that suffered any damage. So, it's not bad.
So from 0 to Moose, we'll give it a...
7.5.
All right.
You can see this, it's just...
The connectors are actually kind of just disintegrated from the heat and the age, I guess.
And they're just coming right apart.
So when you try to unplug that, it just comes apart in your hand?
Pretty much, turns to dust.
You want to show us how that goes?
Not really. Like there is...
Oh, yeah, that's...
So there's not much left of that connector, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I mean, it's to be expected of a very old car that's set to spend its life in the
Well, we're putting different gauges in from Autometer that have the phone harness and everything, so I guess we'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Moose, what do you have there?
I have a dash piece.
And?
It's intact.
What is your analysis of this dash?
It is old.
It is old.
It is dusty.
It is dusty. All right, so we're just brainstorming a bit about how to mount gauges in this dash, and Moose had a pretty cool idea.
Well, this one instrument, the clock, is actually fairly straightforward. It's basically a standard gauge. We have to figure out some sort of spacing.
Yeah.
But this side here, because it's all stepped, I thought it'd be kind of difficult. But I think that this actually would make a good case. We can remove the gauges,
Yeah.
build a piece of aluminum, knock the back out, and then we can mount the gauges.
Right in that, yeah.
And this gives us all the offsets and spacing.
Yeah, the way they mount is kind of offset, isn't it?
It's all spaced and different.
Stepped down.
Stepped in and around. So
Yeah.
that would give us, without having to fabricate all kinds of aluminum and stuff and
Yeah.
custom mounts, we can just...
Gut that housing and mount the gauges in there.
Yeah, and it'll probably drop in quite nicely.
Beauty. I like it. That's called recycling, isn't it?
It is.
Automotive recycling.
We're being very green.
We are super green here at Speed Academy.
Just like this.
That's right. So Moose and I were thinking, what are we going to do with this piece, this warning light piece that goes in the dash? Are we going to bother wiring that up? And we got to thinking it'd be funny to just relabel it. They'll just be fake labels that are like, I don't know, VTEC, beams, muffler bearing warning. We'll have a Tinder one on there for Pete, obviously. Plus, we're loving the fact that this other gauge housing is that minty 70s turquoisey color, because, you know...
That's a bathroom color. That's a classic bathroom color.
It is. That's the color of my grandma's bathroom. We've talked about her underwear. Now we're talking about her bathroom.
You seem to be on a side there, man. Do you have some grandma issues there?
I do. I've got creepy grandma issues for sure. So yeah, this will definitely get the Speed Academy treatment, I would say. It's going to be good. All right, so it's time to remove Connie's bra. Moose is going to get in there and fondle her boobs a little, and then we'll pop it right out of here, and we'll give you a close look at what we've got gauge-wise for the two main gauges, the old Speedo and TAC, or TACO as they like to say in England. Maybe Australia is where they say taco. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, four screws and she pops out, I guess, Amos?
I think so. What's nice about this is this little 5,000 RPM red line is going to go away real fast.
Yeah, it's true. The beam's action is going to take that up to 8K.
That's like off. That's pinning.
That's pinning it. That's not even possible in 1977.
Well, it was in the some of the Hondas.
I guess, yeah, it's true. The motorcycle-powered ones.
The S when they revved up to 9 of the best, I think.
Yeah, at least. I think those S600 and the Image revved up to like 11K or something crazy. Jay Leno would know.
He would. He's the master of everything, including steam.
Yes. All right.
This is where I must resist my natural tendencies.
Moose is clearly a little rusty taking off bras because he's struggling in here, but he's got to be gentle. There's one thing you know about working on Connie's boobs is you got to be gentle. Gentle. Moose, gentle. Simmer.
Yeah, whatever, bud.
Simmer. Gentle.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, you found connector?
Mechanical speedo cable.
Oh, mechanical speedo cable, okay.
I have to go into the dash now.
Alright. This episode has just taken a turn for the weird. Moose is going down on Connie. He's crawling underneath the business end here, looking for the mechanical speedo cable. That's right, kids.
There she is.
YouTube has gone extra.
One-handed!
Oh, one-handed! You found it one-handed.
Yeah.
Like a
I haven't
boss.
lost the touch, Dave.
You haven't lost the touch at all. No.
I was wondering what was hanging up.
Full creeper status intact, Moose. Gentle, gentle. Oh, I hear wiring cracking.
There she is.
Oh, yes.
Look at that.
Beautiful. So classy. Smile for the YouTubers, Moose. Smile for the YouTubers. Well, that wraps up this episode of Old School Celica. I feel like we got to know Connie pretty well today. We got a good look at all our secret private parts. Exciting to have the gauges out so we can get working on that job. Fortunately, we didn't touch the suspension, but we'll do that next time. We got all year, we got decades to work on this build, but until then, enjoy the view, boys. Enjoy the view. You may recall Peter's review of these Harbor Freight wheel dollies, and he was kind of hard on them. He said they don't roll around so well because the dollies are cheap, or the wheels are cheap. But I must admit, it's awfully handy having them in the two-car garage here. So then I can push it up against the wall when I'm done, pull it out, make some room when we're working on it. So yeah, good investment, Pete. Buy more stuff for me, would you?